Target has troubling news for many employees. The retail giant, trying to reverse nearly 4 years of slumping sales, says it will cut roughly 1,800 jobs. That includes 1,000 corporate layoffs. The company plans to install a new CEO in February. Now, Target's stock price has fallen nearly 40% over the last year, facing strong competition from other retailers like Walmart, Costco, and Amazon.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, smash the like, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss our deep dives into what's really happening in America's business and economy. Now, today's story, oh boy, we're talking about Target. Yes, that Target. The red bull's eye that used to be a symbol of convenience, affordability, and style, all wrapped in one. But now, the company just laid off 1,800 workers across the country. Afterwards, executives are calling a strategic restructuring. It sounds fancy, right? But let's be real. It looks a lot more like a company that's falling apart. How did one of America's biggest retail giants go from a pandemic-era boom to a financial nosedive that's costing thousands their jobs? Let's dig into what might really be behind Target's unraveling and what this could mean for the future of retail in the US.
Hey everybody, it happened again. Target is laying off 1,000 of its employees right before the holidays, and this is what you need to know about it. The info that I'm talking about is coming from this AP article, so if you want to, pause and read as I yap through this. About 1,000 employees that are in corporate Target are going to be receiving layoff notices, and 800 total job positions are being eliminated from those corporate roles as well. And this is about 8% of the total corporate workforce for Target. Current COO Mike Fiddlecue, who actually is going to be taking over as CEO come February 2026, is stating that the complexity that Target has created over time is what is setting them back. You can also read his corporate jargon in the 3 things he wants to do to reclaim Target's status as the monolith of retail right here. I think they're kind of funny. I just think that it's very interesting to see when these massive companies who have been doing so well for so long, i.e. Starbucks, Target, etc., start to report declining sales quarter over quarter over quarter. The first thing that they're going to do is get rid of you, the employees. The CEOs aren't taking pay cuts, and then those 1,000 jobs are going to be dispersed to the people who are doing them right now. So the workload is increasing, and I'm going to guarantee you that no one's pay is increasing. One bright side is that no one in the retail stores, their jobs are not being affected, and they are going to be getting paid up until the new year. Hard job market right now, very difficult to find a job, but at least people are going to be getting paid up throughout the holidays. This was a long one, but I think it's very important to talk about, and I want to know what you guys have to say about everything going on right now.
Target is set to lay off 1,800 of their corporate baddies. Now, they're saying that the folks from the corporate office who are going to get let go will get paid through January 3rd and will also receive a severance package, but this is right before the holidays. Now, none of the store employees are going to be losing their jobs, or so they say, but I do think that this is interesting coming after the boycott that happened with Target because they decided to cut all of their DEI initiatives. Now, Target was struggling before they decided to get rid of their DEI initiatives, but they started struggling even more after black folks and other folks decided they wasn't going up in there no more because y'all were being weird. All of this is happening and Target still has not done the most simple thing that they could possibly do to get more foot traction, which is to re-engage with their DEI initiatives and programs. It's like y'all was so quick to get rid of DEI thinking that nothing was going to come of it. And now you have the opportunity to start to rebuild trust with you all and the community, and you're doing everything but that. This is so sad for the 1,800 employees who are going to lose their jobs right before the holidays and in this current economy. No one really can afford to live, much less lose their job.
There is no end in sight for Target's FAFO. Today, Target announced it is laying off 8% of its workforce, or about 1,800 people. In the largest number of layoffs for Target in over a decade, this comes at a time when the company rolled back its diversity, equity, and inclusion programs earlier this year, betraying its primary customer base. As a result, many of Target's most loyal customers abandoned them, moving to places like Costco. To get to this number, they plan to fire 1,000 employees, and they won't be filling 800 positions that are currently open. Shares of Target have fallen 65% since their all-time high in 2021, and it only accelerated when they abandoned DEI. Target has a new CEO, however, the former CEO, who decided to lead the company through a DEI rollback, is still with the company. He's the chair of the board. Most of these cuts will be coming from corporate. Rest assured, neither the former CEO or the current one will likely take a pay cut.
Well, bitch, welcome to Turtle News. Target said on Thursday that it is cutting 1,800 roles across the company, or roughly 8% of its corporate workforce. It marks the largest round of layoffs at the company in a decade. The retailer is fighting to get back to growth and poised to get a new CEO in February. Bitch, a new CEO is not going to help this. Unfortunately, Target made a terrible fucking decision, and now it is playing at the corporate level. Okay, I am so sorry to the 1,800 people who have lost their jobs. However, your corporation made terrible choices in who they chose to align with. And people are standing on fucking business. I have not been back inside of Target since January, and I don't plan on going back. I actually have found substitutes, other places that I like to shop, and I'm going to stick with that. It's actually been fine, right? You miss some little things, but baby, I'm good. I can find a substitute. Now, going into the holiday season, I do think this is going to add to the pressure, because not only do we have this group of people who are now added to the unemployment numbers, we also have the government employees who are not being paid, and then not to mention the massive amount of layoffs that we've already experienced. So I'm very interested to see what the fuck the holiday season looks like in this country, because it is not faring to be a big win economy like they lied about.
Hey y'all, so I see Target is laying off 1,800 employees, and you're not going to tell me that's not a direct result of the fact that we're not going there anymore. And then they're also trying to push out some new ad campaigns, things that they think are going to bring us back to the store, which it's not. I mean, the reality is they messed themselves up when they decided to get rid of DEI. And at this point, we're not going back. And you might as well just pack it up. Target is going to go the way of Kmart. They will eventually be gone because they erred on the wrong side of history. Bottom line, they forgot their core demographic that visited their store did not align with the policies that they're trying to kowtow to. And now for that, 1,800 people are about to be laid off. And I'm sure as time goes on, there will be more, because when they start with 1,800, we've seen this before with all these stores. It'll be like, this group is laid off. We're laying off this one. Then it's, oh, we're closing these stores and we're closing this store. And then before you know it, they just don't exist anymore. Because I'm going to be honest, as much as I used to be in Target, I don't miss it at all. I mean, everything that I need, I can get somewhere else. I don't miss it. I'm not spending money like I was wastefully, because every time I went in there, I seemed to have a reason to find to buy something. And now I just buy what I need and I don't have to worry about it anymore. So sorry to y'all, but maybe you should learn that the people have more power than the administration that you getting on your knees for. Because now you getting rid of 1,800 jobs, and that administration don't give two dams about y'all. Have the days you deserve, Target.
So Target is announcing layoffs of 1,800 staff. Actually, they're not backfilling 800 roles, and then they're laying off 1,000 people, which is kind of ridiculous because this is of their own causing. And who they're laying off are not the upper management who made the poor decision about DEI. It's the everyday families that are now going to struggle to make ends meet because Target made poor decisions at the top. To be clear, they actually reported profits last quarter of $2.05 a share. So this kind of thing should piss everyone off, and Target needs to be called out on that their executive leadership made poor decisions. Why should the employees suffer? That makes no sense.
Good evening. My name is Shay Eisenman. I own a car service in Minnesota. I'm hearing some word on the street this evening that Target is planning some mass layoffs for next Tuesday. It is about 9:30 p.m. I have two sources confirming. I will say lips are pretty tight, and I haven't been able to necessarily get the confirmation from the sources that I would really like to get the confirmation from. But what I'm hearing is that these layoffs will likely exceed the layoffs we saw in 2015 after the failed launch into Canada. I'm also hearing that Target will ask folks to work from home on Tuesday just to avoid the optics of, hundreds of workers leaving HQ with boxes and so forth. So we obviously have lots of friends, neighbors, customers who work at Target. We hope you stay safe, and all the best to Target.
Target is cutting 1,800 jobs from their corporate offices, and this isn't a great thing because I never side with a company cutting jobs when they could cut salaries of their top leaders. Now, their shares are down 65% due to decisions that their board of directors and their former CEO made, and their new CEO is continuing down that same path, making decisions that are only going to further harm the company. See, when Target decided to get rid of their DEI policies and support Donald Trump out of fear of Donald Trump, we the people spoke and said we're done with Target. And it's shown. Quarter after quarter, their sales have been down. They have missed every projection this year. And that's only going to continue. Because now, my whole opinion about Target is further solidified, and I don't want to shop there. Because instead of their leadership taking a pay cut, which would be equivalent to 1,800 people losing their jobs, Target saying, we're going to fire 1,800 run-of-the-mill workers, and the leadership, we're going to keep getting paid what we got paid, and I guarantee they vote for a pay raise this year, even as their shares are down 65%.
So is Target about to do the same thing Walmart did and replace humans with AI? Did the boycotts hit them that bad, or both? Because they just released a statement that they plan to cut 1,800 positions. So they're firing 1,000 corporate positions, and 800 of the roles that are currently vacant will disappear. And instead of saying disappear, I wonder if they meant to say replaced by AI. They're getting a new CEO in February, Michael Fideckel. He says that things are just too complex. There's too many overlapping positions, and it's slowing down their work. So I guess he took inventory of the people that aren't really needed, and he's giving them the boot with severance packages, though. So there's that. But I don't know. I made a video about Walmart's announcement, and I'm just wondering why Target didn't just come out and say what their plan is, if that's their plan. And for right now, there's no plans to cut in-store positions, but yeah, I don't know how long that's going to last. I guess we're just going to have to wait and see about that. But what do y'all think is happening?
Hey guys, this is Brian Lewis here. So this TikTok is based on the story of Target having 1,800 layoffs. Now, Target is a kind of company that 10 years ago, Target was like a trend. Target was like a place you go to. Target was like an alternative to Walmart. Now, considering all the dark money that the Waltons and the Walmart families are endorsed in, Walmart now has completely basically won the retail wars. They have a deal. Pretty much you get Walmart Plus, you can get Paramount Plus or Peacock now. It's wild. And on top of that, you get like gas deals. It's crazy. Walmart just completely dominated. But this is another story of private equity and its destruction. Private equity destroys everything it touches. And this is why private equity needs to be liquidated. I don't think I need to say more than that. They destroyed Target. They're a company that's profiting. Yet you're going to screw the working class people that work there based on the decisions of the higher ups. Think about that. Let's simmer on that for a second.
Good morning, everybody. Let's go ahead and get some news and information that you can use before you start your Friday. Today is October 24th, 2025. All eyes on Friday's inflation report after the shutdown. Let's talk about it. So Friday marks the shutdown delayed release of the Consumer Price Index report, a key measure of inflation. According to a Bloomberg survey, economists expect a 0.3 rise in core CPI, excluding food and energy in September. Some believe the S&P 500 index will continue its rally nonetheless, buoyed by the Fed's expected interest rate cut next week. As the first major economic release during the shutdown, Friday's report holds added importance for investors and may well set the tone for markets for the rest of 2025, according to Bloomberg reports. Artificial intelligence from Anthropic has announced a cloud computing deal with Google valued in the tens of billions. The partnership will give Anthropic access up to 1 million of Google's custom AI chips known as Tensor Processing Units, or TPUs. Google's already supplying Anthropic with cloud services and has invested about $3 billion in the Cloud Maker in the past couple of years. The news follows a flurry of deals by rival OpenAI as AI companies race to increase their capacity. Target announced plans on Thursday to eliminate about 8% of its corporate workforce, or roughly 1,800 roles, as the struggling retailer attempts to reduce costs and revive their growth. The layoffs, announced in a memo by incoming CEO Michael Fidelki, are the company's first major downsizing in a decade. About 1,000 employees will be let go and 800 open roles will not be filled, he said. Target's chief operating officer will take over as CEO in February of 2026, tasked with reversing a sales slump and rebuilding the retailer's brand. Air Canada has announced new routes from Toronto to the United States as trade tensions and immigration policy deter Canadians from traveling to the U.S. Now, the new routes connect Canada's economic hub to New York, Boston, Washington, D.C., and Chicago, with service starting in spring of 2026. One thing we haven't seen is a reduction of business travel, Chief Commercial Officer Mark Gallardo said. Earlier this year, Air Canada was one of several Canadian carriers to reduce capacity on some of their flights to the U.S. for leisure destinations. Amazon has introduced an artificial intelligence tool to help on-the-fence shoppers. Known as Help Me Decide, the tool provides product recommendations based on a shopper's purchase history when they have browsed several similar items. The e-commerce giant says the feature will initially be available to a random selection of millions of U.S. consumers. With a wider release planned in the upcoming months, you can expect sales to increase, they say. It comes at a time when large retailers are increasingly experimenting with AI as platforms like ChatGPT integrate online shopping checkouts. For more news and information that you can always use, head over to brownstoneworldwide.com throughout your day. Don't forget Cityscape Radio for sounds you'll remember and podcasts you'll enjoy. And also Brownstone Living Magazine for the month of October is still available. Go ahead and check out the digital version available for you for free at brownstoneworldwide.com. Or if you're on TikTok or Meta, just go over to the link in my bio and it's right there. You can go ahead and check it out. Don't forget also, you can become a part of the people in the neighborhood by joining our membership, where you get all of the inside stuff like shows, blogs, vlogs, podcasts that are not shown on regular social media. And that starts at the corner, the stoop, or you can become a part of the Neighborhood Watch as an ambassador. Get out there and enjoy your Friday. We'll see you around.
Welcome to the neighborhood. 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 Yeah.
You know, guys, I'm going to say something about all this. Number one is right. Target turned its back on the people, jumped the bandwagon with this orange establishment that nobody really likes. But here's the thing. I'm sick of commerce and marketing gobbling up all the public spaces. I'm sick of it. Do I like buying stuff? Yes. Do I want to have a phone? Yes. All of that, fine. But the only way to stop this massive amount of commercial and market gobbling up of the public space is to fund the government. The government. We've been too long sitting around agreeing that the government's bad. No, it's not. It is now. And you can kind of see it does make a difference who's in there. Right? You can see it right now. It makes a world of difference who's in there. So that's number one. Number two, it's through a strong government that we can actually push back on these corporations and commerce gobbling up our culture. It's everywhere. We used to before the Great Depression and prior to about like 1950, but early on, there was a lot less public space that had been taken over by business. There was way more public space. Way more public space. And here's the thing. The public space outside and through communication channels and time. Listen to me, people. Time is a public space. It's all been chipped away at. Everywhere you go, you're getting tapped on the shoulder to buy something, to express yourself through a commercially made product. I'm sick of it. We need a government that will push back and limit and say, guys, you can put your ads there. You can do this over here. But this whole area is supposed to be free of business interests. Now you might say, well, golly, Mr. Indian, ain't anybody gonna make any money. We got the business of America is business. Yeah, that was all said by a bunch of marketers. It was a bunch of crap. I'm telling you that straight up. Business will make do. You can set limits and you can do all this other stuff. And in fact, it might help competition not to allow the zone to be flooded with all of this horse manure. So my point being is we need a strong government to push back on the commercialization of American culture. Every step. Look what they did to hip hop. Look what they did to it. Look what they did to it. Look what they did to it. Look what they do to religion, sacred religion. Look at how many for-profit situations are set up. It's in the church. It's in the schools. It's everywhere. And you know what? Business isn't the end-all, be-all. That's not the point of life. Is not business. If it was, then why are all of the owners trying to do everything except business? All the people at the top, all that money at a Coldplay concert goofing around. I'm not judging that. Whatever. Do what you want. But I'm just telling you, even the people at the top that are mouthing that we need more commerce, more marketing, more blah, 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 blah. And then people go, what about jobs? There's not any more jobs, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen of the American jury, there is not any more jobs, and it's getting worse and worse and worse. Never going to get better. Just accept it. Don't argue it. Don't deny it. Just accept that the way technology and commerce is going, there's going to be fewer and fewer and fewer and fewer and fewer jobs. There will come a day when the robots will be fixing the robots. Understand that. So we should right now say, okay, let's take back our culture then, because we gave it all up to business through labor and purchasing. So all that to say is that the American, if you really wanted to be serious, the American culture is the generic default constitutional equal rights granted to all people, regardless of race, ethnicity, or creed, or sex, whatever. The basic, right? Everyone at the generic level, at the default level, is afforded X, Y, and Z. Can't be touched, can't be moved around, can't do anything. All right? That is the business of America. That is what this country is for. That is what the founders envisioned. A freedom to do X, Y, and Z at the default level equal to everybody. That's what it is. And in order to get back to that, we have to take back the reins of this American horse from business. Business doesn't care about this country. They don't. They don't. It's not in their interest to care about the country. They'll say they do. They'll fly a giant flag while polluting behind the store. Set that up. Because of that, they shouldn't have such an outsized role in managing the people's government. All right, set it up.
Target's coronation as the poster child for corporate inclusion was once the envy of the retail world. After 2020, it pledged billions of Black-owned businesses, vowed supplier diversity, and promised representation that reflected the customers who kept it in business. For a moment, Target wasn't just a store. It was a statement, but that crown didn't slip. It was tossed aside. Earlier this year, Target quietly rolled back its DEI initiatives, dissolved diversity teams, and stepped away from the very equity programs that defined its post-2020 identity. The same company that once wrapped itself in the same language of progress now treats diversity as a liability. And now, the fallout is here. Target just announced it's cutting 1,800 corporate jobs and eliminating another 800 open positions. A massive internal downsizing that comes as boycotts over its DEI retreat intensifies. And let's be clear, this isn't just about streamlining. It's the cost of betraying the very communities that made your brand a household name. When Target backed away from its equity commitments, it didn't just alienate activists, it alienated customers. The boycotts, the falling sales, the leadership shakeups, and now the layoffs are all connected. This is what happens when a company builds its reputation on inclusion, then abandons it for convenience. Michael Fidelki, the new CEO, calls it restructuring. But what he's really restructuring is trust. The complexity that's holding them back isn't too many layers of management, it's too little moral backbone. Target is learning in real time that performative allyship isn't sustainable. You can't profit from diversity when it's trending and then discard it when it's inconvenient. The layoffs are a consequence of lost loyalty. A direct reflection on the brand that forgot the power of its own promise. Because when you roll back progress, people roll back their dollars, and no amount of rebranding or restructuring can fix that.
So first things first, what went wrong? Over the last year, Target has faced a decline in sales, shrinking profit margins, and a wave of shoplifting and theft that's been costing them billions. The company also admitted that customer spending patterns have shifted. People just aren't buying like they used to. With inflation still squeezing wallets, Americans are cutting back on anything that isn't absolutely essential or necessary. Now, then there's the PR and culture wars angle. Some say Target's, alienated part of its customer base with controversial product lines and social stance. Others argue that the backlash was overblown, and the real issue was poor management decisions over expansion and failure to admit to online shopping trends as quickly as competitors like Amazon or Walmart. Add to that supply chain issues, rising costs, and chaotic retail environment. And what you get is a perfect storm, a business model built for yesterday's customers trying to survive in tomorrow's economy. Now, what does this mean for the future of Target? It could go two ways. Option one, Target trims the fat, rebrands, and comes back leaner and smarter, focusing more on e-commerce, tech-driven logistics, and smaller urban store formats. Or option two, we're watching the beginning of a long, painful decline that could turn Target into the next Sears. Remember Sears? Yeah, that's not a name any company wants to be compared to. But layoffs like this, 1,800 workers, signal something deeper. It's not just about cutting costs, it's about losing faith. When big retailers start letting go of that many employees, it tells you that it tells you they are preparing for tougher times ahead. Okay, so here's the big question: is Target done for just another casualty of America's shifting economy? Or did the company lose touch with what its customers actually wanted? And most importantly, can Target still make a comeback, or is it too late to fix the bullseye? Let me know what you all think, below in the comment section. Don't forget to like the video, please share the video, and subscribe if you want more straight talk on the story shaping America's business landscape. Thanks for watching, and as always, stay informed, stay sharp, and I'll see you in the next one. Until next time, credit belongs to original creators. I'll see you on the next video.